Hey guys, I'm so very happy to see you. I'm sorry for the delay. I hope you can see me now. Everything is all right. So today, as you know, judging by the title, we are going to solve the whole state exam variant together, just everything in order, starting with the listening part, then the reading, then the grammar, blah blah blah, and that is gonna take us about 3 hours. So just please be here with me. I will be very happy, and type something down in the chat if you are here, if you can see me, and we're going to start with the listening. So I just had some problems with my flash drive. That happens here and there, and I was adjusting for it some time. So here's the thing. For those who do not know, my name is Daria and I teach English here at Školkovо. We are going to start with the listening part today. Just type something down, come on, I want to know that you're here. You're here with me. Here we go. Hi Alexei. Well, nice. I'm happy that this is happening. Cool. So we are going to start with our listening part today. Before the actual listening, we gotta do what we gotta do, meaning that we are going to to read all the headlines, right? All the headlines, all the statements. Hi Ruslan, Nikolai, happy to see you. Nice. So let's start and read them before we actually come and listen to something. So number 1 would be the weather can affect people's health and emotions. 2, bad weather can be the result of human behavior. 3, the stock market depends on weather conditions. 4, some people have a gift for predicting things. 5, climate can influence national character. That's an interesting one. 6, wet weather can be good in any season. And 7, the weather changes according to some objective phenomena. Now, if you do not know some of the words, please let me know. I'm going to explain them to you. That's how it works. And we are going to start with the listening. I hope you're guys ready. I'm going to switch on the recording. Okay, I still have to... Oh, come on. Just give me a second. How are you guys doing? How are you guys preparing for the exam? The closest one will be literature and then Russian. Am I right? Okay, here we go.
Ready to start. Speaker A.
I like it when it rains. The heavier, the better. The British say it's lovely weather for ducks. People think me strange, but that's me. If it's warm, it's such a pleasure to walk in the rain, completely wet, yet feeling like a child. If it's cold outside, rain makes your home look a million times cozier. On such days, I cancel all my meetings and appointments, wrap up in a blanket, and watch some good old film or soap. There's nothing like rainy weather.
Okay, any ideas for that one? So the lady's point there was that she was really into rain, that it can make her mood better, that she likes bad weather, blah blah blah. So what guys do you think, what is the appropriate heading for this, right? So Alexei supposes it's number 6. That is correct. Nice, that is actually correct. We're gonna go and do some more of those, and just, I don't know, try and be invested, try and type something down in the chat. Even if you see that the answer is already here, still type it down. I'm just happy to see when you participate.
Speaker B.
I agree with the idea that climate can affect our moods and even national traits. In my country, for example, there's a wide variety of weather conditions, from extreme cold to extreme hot. In the place where I live, the weather is cold, the sky is cloudy, and people's behavior takes on certain characteristics. In this case, people tend to be irritable. But there are warmer regions in our country where people are mostly really very friendly.
Okay, what do you guys think about this one? So the guy was speaking about how climate in certain regions affected people's character in those regions. I think that this is a pretty clear statement. So, I can see number 3 and number 5. Yeah, that is number 5. That is surely number 5. Number 3 is the stock market depends on weather conditions. Stock market — это биржа, да, это биржа. Вот. А вот номер 5 нам как раз подойдет, что на национальный характер действительно Елизавета, Алексей, Николай влияет погода. Давайте дальше пойдем.
Speaker C.
To my mind, the deterioration of weather conditions happens due to human activities. Bad weather is just the result of our thoughtless behavior, such as nuclear tests and wars. Even our individual negative thoughts can lead to bad weather. Our planet is a live organism, so when it falls ill in one place, its other parts can suffer too. All negative energy of mankind searches a way out, and one of these is through weather conditions.
Nice. Any ideas about that? Her point again was kind of evident. Yeah, I can see number 1. Really? Any other ideas here? Okay, I can see number 2. Yeah, her point was pretty much number 2. So number 1 is the weather can affect people's health and emotions. What she said was kind of vice versa. She said that people are the ones who can actually have some certain kind of impact or influence on weather and weather conditions. So yeah, I can quote her. Hi Kirill, happy to see you. So she said, her first sentence was, to my mind, the deterioration of weather conditions happens due to human activities. And then she says something about how people are thoughtless, how they do not recycle. Okay, I'm just kidding. Да, 20 числа. И как по английскому языку. Пора бы знать уже, ребят. Okay, let's move on.
Speaker D.
I believe if you live in a place like Britain, where the weather seems to change daily, if not hourly sometimes, you can be forgiven for thinking that the weather is random. In fact, the weather is controlled by systems moving around areas of the globe. In the UK, the weather depends on depressions, often called lows, and anticyclones, also known as highs. As far as I know, highs bring sunny weather, while lows can bring unpleasant rain and wind.
Speaker E.
Okay, so I guess he was pretty understandable. That sounded a bit like a report though. What are your ideas here, guys? What are your ideas? Yeah, exactly. Алексей, Елизавета, Николай, да, это 7. Правильно, хорошо, да. So the weather changes according to some objective phenomena. Phenomena — это множественное число от слова phenomenon. Есть какая-то часть греческих слов, которые в единственном числе имеют окончание «on», во множественном числе не окончание «a». Допустим, слово «критерий» будет «criterion», а множественное число «criteria» и так далее. Похоже с окончанием «u», «m» и «a», как «medium» и «media». Вот так вот. So yeah, he said something about like anticyclones. That's pretty objective to my mind. Okay, let's listen up some more. Here we go. Here's the recording.
I've read that a recent study suggests that certain people may have a unique special gift for predicting the weather, but it's quite possible that these people would use their talent in another way, since the same group had a remarkably considerable success in forecasting changes in another chaotic system, the stock market. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Make millions in Wall Street and know what to put on every single day. I'd really love it.
Okay, now this one can be a bit confusing and complicated. please try and pay your attention to what she said, to like the overall idea. Any ideas about that? Yeah, I can see a 4. Yeah, that's a 4. Congratulations, guys. That is correct. That is a 4 indeed. I was afraid that most of you are going to say something like, ooh, that should be a, what's that? Where's the one with stock market? That should be a 3, because you know there was the expression stock market there. Whereas actually she meant 4. She said that some people have a future weather predicting gift, blah blah blah, and they can use their gift in many ways. So yeah, you guys are correct. Congratulations.
I feel a bit under the weather is a common complaint in Britain, especially on Mondays. And it seems to me that the weather really is responsible for our physical and emotional state. I think changeable weather makes it hard to concentrate, and I must say that hot weather makes me snappy. Some suggest that the weather also leaves its mark on character, but I reckon that economic, political, and social factors have a stronger effect than the weather.
Yeah, you guys are correct. No stock market mentions. That is the one, because he was talking about how his own moods and emotions were affected by the weather, blah blah blah. So yeah, we guys did great. There were little to no mistakes. So congratulations with that. That sounds real nice. And I think we're gonna go with the next number. Let me just try and find it. The true, false, or not stated one. So let's try and read the statements first, starting with A. So A, Kate is thinking about a present for her former school friend. B, Kate usually easily chooses presents for her friends. Kate keeps in contact with her friend via a social network. Kate's friend was born in Peru. Kate's friend enjoys local music. Tom believes music preferences открывают a lot about person. And Tom is a connoisseur, знаток, of the type of music Kate needs. So let's try and listen to that.
Hi, Kate. Kate. To Kate. You are obviously so deep in thoughts. Are you lost in your dreams? What are you thinking about?
Oh, hi, Tom. Sorry, I didn't see you. Actually, I was thinking about a present for my friend's birthday.
This shouldn't be much of a problem for you. You are always so creative with presents.
Thanks for the compliment, but the point is, I don't know this person very well, so choosing a present for her is tricky.
How come this is your friend and you don't know this person very well? How can it be possible?
I know it sounds strange, but this is my pen friend, actually.
That explains it. How did you find her?
Well, she is from Peru, and we have just started communicating. I found her profile on Facebook. I got a message saying that she has her birthday in 2 weeks, and I thought it'd be nice to give her something on such a special occasion.
Okay, I see. Why not give her a CD? This shouldn't be too hard to ship to Peru, and music is universal, you know.
A great idea, but I don't know what she has or hasn't in her music collection, do I?
Okay, let's try and look at statements from A to C, right? From A to C. So what do you guys think about A? A is Kate is thinking about a present for her former school friend. Former, это как бывший. Is that correct or not so much? What do you guys think? Again, 1 goes for true, 2 goes for false, and 3 is a non-stated option, meaning that there is little to no information in the recording. Exactly, that is a false. Елизавета and Nikolai, you are completely correct. Basically, because I think that this is pretty evident, right? Because it's a pen friend and not a, yeah, nice. And B and C, as Alexander has stated, are true. So we know that Kate usually easily chooses presents for her friends, judging by Tom's phrase that she's very creative with her presence usually, right? With her presence. And C, Kate keeps in contact with friends via social network. We know that too because she saw like the Facebook reminder or whatever on her social network, and she wanted to congratulate her pen friend. Nice. Let's listen up. D is a non-stated. Yes, so far I believe that D is a non-stated, but the recording is not over. I just stopped it in the middle. But yeah, for now I believe that D is a non-stated as well.
Oh, that's pretty easy. You can give her a disc of our local music. She can't have that, that's for sure.
Super! You are a star.
Just keep in mind what styles she generally prefers. Do you have any information on that?
I saw it in her profile. If I remember correctly, she likes calm, romantic music. Does that mean that she is a quiet person?
Not necessarily. She might be just the opposite. Very talkative and easygoing.
You know, I believe a person's character is reflected in what music he or she likes.
I think so too, but the connections can be very unexpected and inexplicable to my mind.
All right. Now I need to go to a music shop and choose something.
Shall I help you? I'm absolutely free and I know local music very well. I can help you choose.
Really? That would be great. You could also help me choose something for myself. I think my collection needs new items.
Good idea. Let's go then.
Okay. That wasn't as confusing. Let's try and think of it. So D, as Nikolai has already stated, is a non-stated, is not stated, mainly because we know that Kate's friend is in Peru and that because they have to ship the present to Peru or something, but we do not know whether that was like the place where they were born. So that's like another thing. What about number E, guys? What are your ideas? Kate's friend enjoys local music. Yeah, Nikolai, correct. D, E is a non-stated as well. Mainly because we have no idea whether they enjoy it or not. Kate does not like have any ideas even of the type of the genre of the music they listen to. Nice. And then E is in 3, right? And then F and G. F is Tom believes music preferences reveal a lot about a person, and G is Tom is a connoisseur of the type of music Kate needs. Alexei believes it's a 1-1, and Alexei is correct there. Nice. So Tom really believes that they reveal a lot about a person, though from what he says, the connection sometimes can be pretty confusing. Yeah, and G, is it true? I believe Tom is a connoisseur of the type of music Kate needs. Like he doesn't know anything about, about the Perunian friend and their style or whatever, but it is stated that Kate wants him to help her with her like music collection, and it's stated that he is like very much into local music. He knows a lot about it, and Kate is like, okay, let's go, you can help me like enrich my personal collection. So yeah, so that would go like D is a 3 and E is a 3, and F and G are both 1s, which is kind of confusing, but yeah, I can see that happening. Okay, let's try and listen to the big interview. Let me just show you the questions. So 3 is Mary cycled to the South Pole because she wanted to test a special bicycle, prove her own ideas, or become the first woman to do it. 4, Mary cycled across Lake Baikal to prepare for her biggest expedition, see the beautiful scenery, or get to know other cyclists. 5 is Mary's bike design was based on a model of a regular mountain bike used by other cyclists or from her training expeditions. Which of the following helped Mary to beat her competitors? A shorter route, an earlier start, better weather conditions. Mary's South Pole expedition turned out to be quite profitable, rather cheap or very expensive. When alone in the fields of snow, Mary was scared for her life, tried to imagine mountains or enjoyed an empty scenery. And during her journey, Mary ate and slept in the snow, a movable shelter or a bag. Well, that was kind of interesting. Nice. Okay, let me just try and switch it on for you. Here we go, and I will try and stop after just like a few questions, after each couple of questions, so we could like do this together too. Okay.
Now we are ready to start. Welcome to Amazing People Show. Today we are joined by Mary Jameson, who's been leading a truly adventurous life.
Hello. It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So, Mary, how did you get the idea of cycling to the South Pole?
I'd been looking at Antarctica for years, thinking I'd love to ski to the South Pole. I found out that no one had ever cycled there, and I wondered if it was possible. I researched the idea, and in March 2012, I cycled across Siberia's Lake Baikal as a test. I then trained in Norway and Iceland. I think that pedal power is one of the most efficient means of human power, and so I wanted to see if this was true, even on snow and ice, where historically skis have always been favored. About 6 months before I set off, in June 2013, I found out that there were 2 other cyclists, a guy from Spain and an American man, attempting to do the same thing as me, so I kept my plans very quiet.
So, it wasn't your plan to compete against them, was it?
Not at all. In fact, they left 3 or 4 weeks before me and finished a couple of weeks after me. I was reading their blogs before I left, and I could see that they were not having a good time. They went on normal mountain bikes with thicker tires.
You helped design the horizontal bike you used. Did your background in math and science give you an advantage over your competitors?
I'm good at working out complex problems. I fell off my bike at least 50 times while cycling Lake Baikal because of the extreme wind.
Okay, I think we actually can stop here. We can stop here and look at number 3. So Mary cycled to the South Pole because she wanted to, 1, test a special bicycle, 2, prove her own ideas, or become the first woman to do it. Any ideas about that? So I think it's pretty evident from what she said that one of the points that she mentioned, that she really wanted to explore that. That was like number 1, and number 2 was that she understood that no one has ever done that before her. So she would be not the first woman, but like the first person to do it. Is this an exam? Yes, this is like an exam pattern in foreign languages. This is like a state exam for Russian high schoolers. Number 3, number 2, number 2. Yeah, that would be number 2. So she wouldn't be the first woman to do it. That wasn't in her original plan. She wanted to prove her own ideas because, again, no one ever, like man or a woman, done it before her. Okay, so what about number 2? Mary cycled across Lake Baikal to prepare for her big expedition, see the beautiful scenery, or get to know other cyclists. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, 4 is a 2. See the beautiful scenery. Oh, come on. Really? Let me just quote something from the recording. I mean, of course, she told how beautiful everything is, but that kind of wasn't the point. Okay, I can see like 3 2s or something. Let me just try and rewind it for you. Maybe you guys are going to change your opinion. Yeah, that's a 1. Hi, Lisa, by the way. Of course, that's a 1. So I can, if you want, I can switch the recording. If not, so let me just quote her. She said, yeah, I researched the idea, and in March 2012, I cycled across Siberia's Lake Baikal as a test. I then trained in Norway and Iceland. I think that pedal power, blah, blah, blah. And so I wanted to see if this was true, even even on snow and ice, where historical skills have always been favored, etc., etc. So her point was that she went to Baikal not to like admire everything, and of course not to get to know another cyclist, because she's kind of like on her own. Her point was to prepare for her big expeditions, to do the trainings under like difficult weather conditions, meaning like snow and ice. So that's the thing. Number 5, Mary's bike design was based on a model. And there are 3 answers again: of a regular mountain bike used by other cyclists, or from her training expedition. Now, if you want to, I can switch the recording once more. Just like tap something if you want that. I'm gonna make that happen. Nice. I can see a 1 and a 2. Yeah, 2 would be correct. 2 is correct. Okay, that's a plus to re-listen to, I guess. I'm going to like rewind it for you a bit to the beginning. Yeah, so that is used by other cyclists. Let me quote her. She said something like, you helped design the horizontal bike, background, etc. Yeah, here we go. So she, let me just rewind it for you so you could listen to it once again.
After me. I was reading their blogs before I left, and I could see that they were not having a good time. They went on normal mountain bikes with thicker tires.
You helped design the horizontal bike you use. Did your background in math and science give you an advantage over your competitors?
I'm good at working out complex problems. I fell off my bike at least 50 times while cycling Lake Baikal because of the extreme wind. So a lot of the bike design came from experience. I also took a different route than my competitors. I don't like following others. My route was much steeper, but also shorter. Their route was around 1,000 kilometers, and mine was 638 kilometers.
Were you concerned that one of them was going to beat you to the South Pole?
I was, but I knew my preparation was spot on. It's a very expensive adventure, so I needed major sponsors. I saved a lot of money and borrowed from family members, so it was a very stressful time. Now I'm in debt. I have another 23 years to pay this loan off. There is no profit in these kind of expeditions.
Wow. Okay, let's look at the questions. So yeah, Mary's bike design was based on a model used by other cyclists. We got that. And which of the following helped Mary to beat her competitors? What do you guys think about number 6? So she said that she researched a lot, right? And of course she didn't have an earlier start, right? Because she said that they have started before her, but they started earlier, but they finished later. So she was like, she was a late start. She had a late start, but she finished earlier. Yeah, I could see a 1 and a 3. Nice. So the correct answer would be a 3, better weather conditions. Of course, we could say something about a shorter route, but let me just quote her. So, yeah, there was something about bikes, etc. She said that she took a different route. Yeah, here we go. And she said that she fell off her bike at least 50 times cycling Baikal. Here we go. Nice. And what about number 7? Mary's South Pole expedition turned out to be. And then there are 3 variants. That was a set point, by the way. Quite profitable, достаточно выгодная, rather cheap, or very expensive. So what do you guys think of that? Yes, of course, that would be a 3, Nikolai. Very expensive. So she mentioned that she was in debt. She had to like have loans from her parents and friends. And now she is in immense debt that she doesn't think she's ever going to repay. So boom. Let's look at number 8. When alone in the field of snow, Mary. And then there should be some kind of continuation. Let me switch on the recording again.
29 degrees centigrade without wind chill. How do you prepare for that kind of bitter cold?
When I was cycling, I wore a light coat with 3 layers underneath, and I didn't have any skin showing. When I stopped, I put on an extra warm jacket. I did get a bit of frostbite one day. Every night, I take a photo of myself and look at it to make sure I still had all my body parts. My feet suffered the most. I had to stop and jump up and down to keep them going. It didn't matter how many layers of socks I put on. My feet were cold all the time.
How did you cope being alone in the extreme cold for 10 days?
The first few days, I could see some mountains on my right, and that was spectacular and dramatic. Once I got closer to the South Pole, it was just a blanket of white. The endless monotony was hypnotizing. I loved just looking at nothing.
Where did you rest and eat during your journey?
I had a solo tent that was just about big enough for me plus 2 of my bags. I did all my cooking in there. I'd sleep for 5 hours or so at night and cycle for up to 17 hours.
What did you do when you crossed the finish line?
First, I took a photo at the ceremonial South Pole, a big ball on a post where everyone takes a picture. The actual South Pole is about 150 meters away. I cycled over to that as well. I was delighted to have become the first person in the world to cycle to the South Pole.
You have 15 seconds to complete the task.
Okay, I think we got it from there. Nice, I can see your answers. So number 7. Cool. Number 8. When alone in the fields of snow, Mary was scared for her life, tried to imagine mountains or enjoy the empty scenery. Any ideas here? Yeah, 8 is a 3, enjoy the empty scenery. So she specifically said that there was like an area of all white, the mountains were pretty blah blah blah. Now we know that she kind of suffered a lot because she was on the bike for 17 hours a day, and then her feet like suffered the most, but she never explicitly said that that was kind of problematic. Nice. So 8 would be a 3. And number 9, during her journey, Mary ate and slept in a bag. That is correct as well. She slept in a bag. Congratulations. That was a rather confusing interview at some points. So yeah, here we go. Let's try and start our reading task. Yeah, happy to see you. Let's start our reading task. Thank you for doing the listening part. I'm sorry for being like a bit off. It's just that, I don't know. I really want to sleep. That's like 12 in the morning. The schedule because of the virus is kind of like here and there. So let's try to do the reading part today. Can you guys see the text? I hope you can. Just here we go. I hope you can see the text. If you cannot, let me know. I will try to move it for you. Whoop. Okay, so let's start with the headlines, with the titles. Number 1 would be staying inside for fun. 2, a book versus the net. 3, reflect on your morning. 4, sharing lunch at work. 5, time for planning. 6, time for physical activity. 7, spend time outdoors. And 8, do the things you enjoy. So let's start with reading A. One of the best things to do during lunch break is to exercise. It still may sound a bit strange, but experts say that combining fitness and lunch is one of the best ways to incorporate exercise into a busy lifestyle. Who said that exercise is only for losing weight? Start exercising during your lunch hour and you will feel better and full of energy to accomplish your difficult tasks. Even if it's just going for a walk or doing a few sit-ups, your body will thank you. Okay. Sounds confusing, but okay. Any ideas about that one? So the main idea for the of the paragraph was something that like during your lunch break you can do some exercise and it will like benefit you greatly. What do you guys think? Okay, let me see. Okay, I can see number 6 from Lisa, and that would be correct. Time for physical activity. That's nice, Lisa, you got it. Number 4, thought Alexei. Now sharing lunch and work. I thought about that too. That's a kind of a complicated issue. But here, it's not that like lunch and work are shared. It's you share lunch and exercise, not lunch and work. So yeah, I think number 6 is more appropriate here. Let's look at B. During your lunch break, you may do lots of things. You might think that reading a book isn't a healthy thing to do during your lunch break, but it's much better than surfing the internet. Unlike the net, it does not only keep our mind active, but it also improves speaking, writing, and reading skills. If we had a hard day at work, reading a book without looking at the screen will help keep our mind distracted from problems. So hooray, escapism. Happy to hear that. Okay, there is a 6 from Nikolai. Yeah, that was a 6 before. What about number B? Any ideas about that? Oh, come on. So the main idea of the paragraph is that after work, you can go and read a book. And that would be more beneficial than just surfing the net. Yeah, at 2, exactly, Nikolai. Nice, a book versus the net. That would be the correct answer. Nice, a book versus the net. So there is some kind of opposition, right? Like something is better than another thing. A book versus the net would be the correct title. Congratulations. Guys, come on, participate. C. Many people don't leave their workplaces during a lunch break, but it's a huge mistake. Your lunch break should be a sacred time. Sacred — это священное, то же самое, что saint или holy. Sacred time. A time when you can step away from your computer. No matter whether you like it or hate your job, leave the building and sit on a nearby bench. You can also take a short walk. You will feel much better when you are back from a lunch break, and you will have more energy and motivation to accomplish your tasks. Okay, that sounds pretty nice. Hi, Stepan, happy to see you. Okay, number 2. Yeah, number 2 was correct for the last paragraph. What about paragraph number C? Come on, not that hard. So, C is pretty easy one. Basically, what the author suggests us doing is that we can like go out and go for a walk, or just like spend some time outside the building we're working in, just to feel on the safe side, just to kind of spend some time in nature, and that will just like give us some additional motivation and eagerness to accomplish stuff. Any ideas about that? Yeah, nice. That would be a 7, Lisa. Spend time outdoors. You're correct. Exactly. Let me read the D thingy. So, managing school and work is never an easy task. It might seem impossible to balance all of these responsibilities, but it can be done nevertheless. If you have plenty of tasks, you can spend 15 to 20 minutes of your lunch hour working on them and have more free time in the evening. Just make sure you don't spend the whole lunch hour doing your lessons, because having a healthy snack and doing some exercises are still essential. Interesting. Yeah, 7 was correct for C. Nice. And now here, I think this paragraph is more appropriate to the one of the headings that you have suggested. Meaning, what was that? Lunch versus something? I forgot it. Yeah, number 4, sharing lunch and work. Now I think that number 4 is kind of better here. Time for planning is like understandable, but it's not that they suggest you planning something right during your lunch. They suggest you actually doing your work or your studies during your lunchtime, so that you can like spare some time in the evening, free up some time in the evening for that. So what the author suggests here is doing like a part of your work or your studies during your lunch break. So here we go. That would be number 4, sharing lunch and work. Nice. Let's look at E, and then I will go back to the headings. Can you guys see the text? I hope you can. No, half of it is just here. Here we go. Let's start with E. So, having busy days, we hope to manage time somehow and complete all the things we need to do. A lunch hour is a great time to plan your weekly meals and food shopping lists, because planning is good for your wallet and your health as well. You can also plan here's the total paragraph about planning. You can also plan your lunch meals to avoid eating unhealthy food. Your lunch hour is also a wonderful time to plan your everyday jobs and social calendar, and you can do it sitting on a nearby bench. Woof. So as you can see here, there is not a single sentence where the word plan or planning or other derivatives is not used. Nice. So that indeed would be number 5. You guys are correct. Cool. Number 5, time for planning. F. Lunch break is such a period in your life which we can name eternal. Use your lunch break for something you like most of all, such as going shopping, seeing your friends, or visiting the park or some other lovely sports. Just make sure that you meet positive people during your lunch hour, and it will improve your mood and refresh you till the rest of the day. You'll go back to the office with absolutely different mindset, and you'll work much better. Okay, that sounded pretty positive, so I tried to switch it up again so you could see the headings. I hope you can guys see the headings. Yeah, nice. That would be an 8. Congratulations. Do the things you enjoy. That is the correct heading, guys. You're nice. Cool. Let's read the G. A lunch break is the perfect time to evaluate what you have done before noon. I don't think I've ever had lunch breaks or something. Try to self-reflect on tasks you've accomplished, and this will help you feel proud of yourself. Notice what needs to be done and concentrate on those things. If you haven't accomplished some tasks, don't worry, you'll have enough time to accomplish them after your lunch break. Just keep a positive attitude, since stress doesn't solve anything. The last sentence is pretty much correct. Woof. Any ideas about that? So the idea here is that basically it's best if you kind of think on what you did in the day, what was good, what wasn't so good. So it would be easier for you to kind of continue with the day and accomplish your goals. Yeah, feeling proud, blah, 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 self-reflection, concentration. And we have, what are some other options? Yeah, I think we have number 1 and number 3, so the lesson is pretty much understandable. Yeah, that would be number 3. No, that would be number 3. Let me explain it to you. Number 1 is staying inside for fun. I don't think that there is nothing, I don't think that there is anything about staying on the inside. There is no specific phrase relating to that. Whereas number 3, reflect on your morning. That's pretty much the sense of the whole paragraph, meaning that the paragraph is kind of, okay, try to think what you did in the morning. Try to think what you haven't done in the morning, and that can still be improved, done later this evening. So number 3 is okay version for us. Whew, that was pretty harsh. That wasn't a difficult thing there. It was just a bit Okay, now let me just try and read the text. And the text here is called Fire Cruise Hunt Escaped Hamster. Now that is a weird title for the text. Let me just move so you can see it fully and properly. Yeah, I think this one looks nice. And again, we're going to start with the, what are those called? We're going to start with the sentences, with the options. So number 1 is through a small hole in the floor. Number 2, through the hole for the hamster. 3. Unlock the runaway hamster. 4. To come out of the hole. 5. To look after the pet. 6. To try and locate the missing hamster. And 7. And left it under the floorboards. Woof. Okay, let's try and read our beautiful text about fire crews and a hamster. Oof. 8 firefighters have been called in to help find an escaped hamster. 2 crews use a chocolate-covered camera and a vacuum cleaner, blah blah blah, called Fudgy at the home of a 6-year-old girl in Dunbar, Scotland. Nice. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I think number 1 and number 2, they won't go there. Am I right? What do you think? I mean, there are some options. There are different options there. Anything in particular that kind of says, yeah, that's like a perfect stuff there? Or are you guys unsure? Okay, I can see 2 6s. To try and locate the missing hamster. Yes, this is correct. To try and locate the missing hamster. Nice. Because then goes the name of the hamster, and then before that, used to locate, it's like it's pretty much there. Nice. Let's try and continue. The girl's mother said, "We came down for breakfast and discovered Fudgy hadn't opened the top lid of her cage and had made her way," oh, that's a her, into the kitchen, and we think she has gone. And then there is like this, this ellipsis and continuation. So I think this is pretty understandable. Oh, and then, you know, maybe it's best if we try and just like read the next sentence, because it will help us to kind of navigate through our answers. So the next sentence would be: the fire crew spent the 5 hours trying to recover the bed after it ran down a hole in the kitchen floor, right? So that can help us. Yes, that's the one. Congratulations. Through a small hole in the floor. Nice. But the hamster still refused, and that's like a C there. What do you guys think about C? Everyone who typed 1 did a great job. Lisa, Nikolai, Marie, and Alexei, good for you. You're doing great. So yeah, but the hamster still refused, and then there are options, right? I think that's pretty much understandable. There is the only thing that goes there. Yeah, Maria and Lisa, you are correct. Number 4, to come out of the hole. To come out of the hole. Cool. In the search for Fudgy, the firefighters took the family cooker and gas pipes apart. They also dropped, oh, that's so unnecessary. They also dropped a mini camera coated with chocolate under the floorboards. They then hoped to take out the hamster using a vacuum cleaner. Despite all their efforts, they failed to find Fudgy. In the end, the firefighters put another camera down the hole, blank, connected to the screen of the family home computer to see if Fudgy appeared. Okay, again, in the end, the firefighters put another camera down the hole, blah, 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 connected to the screen of the family home computer to see if Fudgy appeared, besides the girl and her parents regularly dropped food, etc., etc. What do you think? Number 5. To look after the pet. Не совсем. To look after — это всегда присматривать, приглядывать. Допустим, oh, my brother is ill, I have to look after him. Or you have to be very responsible in order to look after a pet. So, yeah. Any other options? Come on, it's not that difficult. Try to read through all of your options. Yeah, a 7. Nice. Of course, a 7. So the firefighters put another camera down the hole and left it under the floorboards connected to the blah blah blah. Why would we ever think that this is like a good idea? Because the next sentence is that the people in the family, they kind of dropped something on the floor, so that would make sense if they kind of tried and located it somewhere under the floorboards, right? So yeah, besides the girl and her parents regularly dropped food, what do you guys think about E? So they regularly dropped food. Any ideas? And this is like interconnected with the previous sentence, so that could like actually help you. Yeah, 2. Through the hole for the O. Really? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that makes sense. At last, after 8 days, the hamster returned to the cage safe and sound. She crawled from the hole in the kitchen floor early in the morning. It was the girl's father who first found Fudgy. And then there is another answer coming. Who first found Fudgy? Yeah, nice. That's a 3. That's a 3. Unlocked. Oh no, I'm sorry. When I said yeah, that's a 3. Unlocked the runaway hamster. So as you can see, the tenses there is similar. So found is like in past simple, and you have your locked in past simple. So here we go. That's like the strategy for figuring this stuff out. The girl said that day it was like Christmas morning for her. I'm sorry, my sight is getting worse and worse. Her parents added that they too felt extremely happy when Fudgy had finally returned. Okay, congratulations. That was a pretty nice task. I'm happy we did it with you and we did it correct. So nice. That's a thumbs up for you guys. We did great. Okay, now we are doing our you know what? We actually have some like variety here. We can either do this reading task right now, or we can do it on our at our next lesson, which starts at you know what? No, you know what? Let's do it now, and then we're gonna finish the reading section. So that's how we gotta do. Okay, 3, 2, 1, prepare to read the text. I really hope you can see it all right. Let me just move it for you. The text is called The Culture Shock of Being an International Student. Have you ever been an international student, guys? Anywhere? I would be very interested. I mean, I see this text for the first time. I would be very interested in reading it because I've been an international student. And I mean, it wasn't like a cultural shock, but it was kind of difficult. Okay, let's try and read it up. Oh, but before that, let's try and read the questions. So when she moved to Scotland, the students was mostly confused by blah, blah, blah. Which of the following was not mentioned as a reason for author's culture shock? The word daunting. Okay, I think we got it. They usually, you know what, they usually have one question per paragraph, so it's best if we read a paragraph and then we read the question, and then it's kind of like goes like that. Another paragraph, another question. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. For any student, moving away from home can be a bit scary, but I did not expect student life in Scotland to be all that different from my home of the Netherlands. After all, we get the same news and TV shows online. Many students find the northwest climate can affect them a lot. You may find the grayness and dampness, especially during the winter months, difficult to get used to. However, when I moved from Amsterdam to study at the University of Stirling, I began to realize that a few minor issues were catching me off balance. I was suffering a minor cultural shock. Okay, now let's read our question. So the first question is, when she moved to Scotland, the students was mostly confused by A, small unexpected things, B, television shows, C, the weather, and D, the local food. Here we go. I think that's like you can get it. That is like mostly understandable. What do you guys think here? I think we've already read on your answer. So again, many students find the northwest climate can affect them a lot. You may find the grayness and dampness, especially during the winter months, difficult to get used to. However, when I moved to Amsterdam to blah blah blah, I began to realize that a few minor issues were catching me off balance. I was suffering a minor cultural shock. Here we go, minor issues. Yeah, and A. Yeah, small unexpected things. Exactly, Lizzie, you're correct. So small unexpected things would be a synonym to minor issues. And her point that like most people suffer from like weather conditions being different, blah blah blah. But she herself suffered from like some minor things. Here we go. Nice. Let's read the second paragraph. In my first year, I quickly found out my English was not as good as I had assumed. Most of my roommates were born and raised in Scotland, and I constantly found myself having to ask people to repeat themselves. Their Scottish accents did not help, and I was mispronouncing names and places all the time. I also got confused about minor cultural things. Much to my flatmates' amusement, it took me 2 Christmases to figure out that my mince pies are not actually filled with minced beef. Yeah, that's a bummer. Okay, which of the following was not mentioned as a reason for author's cultural shock? Now let me read the answer. Language problems, local food, living on campus, or traffic jams? Traffic jams это пробки. So what do you guys think about this one? Yeah, I could say an A. Language problems, or I mean, she somehow mentioned that. Yeah, she mentioned a lot of times that she thought her English was like better than in like so I think she had those language problems. She had some problems with the local food because like mince pie and stuff. She said that she had some problems living on campus. Yeah, nice. And after that, yeah, traffic jams would be the only thing that have not confused her. Right, so that would be a D. The answer would be D. And now we are searching for the word daunting. Let me read it for you. The linguistic barrier meant that public transport was tricky at first. I found the lack of information about bus prices and how and where to get tickets really surprising. It turned a simple 15-minute journey into a daunting task. Now, daunting, extremely easy, impossible, discouraging, or comfortable. What do you guys think? I think from the contents it's pretty much understandable that we wouldn't say that it's like it was extremely easy or comfortable. So here we have our like question. We have like a tie. Do you think that it's like impossible or discouraging? Oh, I'm sorry. So I think the only difference between impossible and discouraging is that impossible cannot be accomplished at any cost. And discouraging is just that it's like super tiring and confusing and you don't want to do it, but you kind of have to. So, yeah. Yeah, nice. Nice. Discouraging would be the correct answer. I'm happy to hear that. Number 15, in paragraph 4, then I had to adjust to, the author stresses that it was difficult for her to get used to. And then there are 4 options here. Living in the same place all the time, doing sports where she lived, C, always being around the same people, and having few social activities. Mm-hmm. Any ideas about that? Okay, let me try and read it for you. I don't think we did it before. Then I had to adjust to a new social life. I was surprised by the campus culture in the UK. In the Netherlands, most universities don't have one main campus where you can attend university as well as live and exercise all in the same place. But here you never have to leave campus if you don't want to. I had to adapt to everyone being so close to each other all the time. And again, parties are different. Let me just read it to the end. Parties are different here too. In the Netherlands, the less effort you put into getting ready, the better. I'd normally sleep in my trusty Converse shoes along with some clothes I could get away with wearing to class tomorrow, and wear minimal makeup. But in my experience, partying is more formal in the UK. Your makeup needs to be flawless and your hair needs to be immaculate. You preferably be wearing a dress and heels too. I was constantly having to borrow clothes of my friends just to fit in. Parties finish early, and everyone just wanders off, whereas in my country that would be the time I'd leave the house. So that's an interesting thinking. You believe that that was a C? Yeah, well, always being around the same people. Congratulations, that would be correct. Nice, nice. According to the author, parties she got used to in Netherlands: A. Made her feel uncomfortable. B. Required greater expenses. C. Started and finished earlier. And D. Allowed for casual clothing. What do you guys think? So she kind of tried to compare parties in Netherlands to parties in the UK, particularly in Scotland. And do you imagine that high heels and dress required passage? I think that's a bit about it. Yeah, of course that's a D, allowed for casual clothing. So she could wear casual clothing to Netherlands, in Netherlands, right? But she couldn't do the same thing in the UK. But it is not all early closing times and strange pastries. Yeah, right. Social behaviors may also confuse, surprise, or offend you. For example, you may find people appear cold, distant, or always in a hurry. Cultures are built on deeply embedded sets of values, norms, assumptions, and beliefs. It can be surprising and sometimes distressing to find that people do not share some of your most deeply held ideas, as most of us take our core values and beliefs for granted and assume they are universally held. However, I have found lots of pleasant surprises in the UK too, and so have many other international students I know. My friend Agnes was taken aback by how sociable people are. She says she was shocked when complete strangers started talking to her at the bus stop. I personally was surprised by how smartly male students stroll in dress compared to my home country. I wouldn't say so. I think people in Netherlands are pretty fashionable. Culture shock can knock your confidence in the beginning, but you are not alone in taking time to adapt, and soon you start to come to grips with all the experiences. Studies suggest that taking a gap year or studying abroad can positively influence your brain to make you more outgoing and open to new ideas. Looking back, most of the ones I experienced made good stories to tell my friends. Sounds cool. So let's start with number 17. Which of the following statements, according to the author, is true about international students in strolling? A. They don't dress up as well as locals. B. They may experience many positive cultural surprises. C. They don't talk to strangers. Or D. Their eating habits are different, right? Yeah, Arena, that's okay. Happy to see you there. We're going to have another webinar in a couple of minutes. So that's okay. You missed the text? No way. So now the answers are just based on the last part of the text. So try and see it. Here it is, the last part of the text. And here we can see which blah 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 is true about international students in Sterling, right? Now there wasn't Okay, B. Exactly, B. Okay, Nikolai and Lisa, thank you so much for doing that up to the end. Alexei, you are correct. Nice, thank you. They may experience many positive cultural surprises. That is the correct answer, so congratulations. And 18, the expression, the ones in blah blah blah, most of the ones I experienced, refers to cultural shocks, gap years, studies abroad, or feelings about friends. Oof. Let me reread it for you. So studies suggest that taking a gap year or studying abroad can positively influence your brain to make you more outgoing and open to new ideas. Looking back, most of the ones I experienced made good stories to tell my friends. So that it, right? The ones, not it, the ones in the most I experienced refers to culture shocks, gap years, studies abroad, or feelings about friends. Yeah, that would be an A, culture shocks, right? Culture shocks. Nice. I mean, it kind of starts with culture shocks, so yeah, you can get it. Okay, as for now, the web is over. Yeah, A, you're correct. Nice, congratulations, guys. You did great today. I genuinely believe you would have no problems during your state exam. So we're going to meet in a couple of minutes using another link. I will drink some water and then we're going to go through the grammar, through the writing section. So that's what we're gonna do. Thank you for being here. See you in a couple of minutes.